Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com in the fourth week of August 2024. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Musician Russell Malone died August 23, 2024 in Tokyo. He died of a heart attack at the age of 60. He was a jazz guitarist who played with greats like Harry Connick Jr., Wynton and Branford Marsalis, and Diana Krall. Malone is also being remembered for his acclaimed solo career and his work as a jazz guitar teacher. Landscape and garden contractor Roger Cook died August 21, 2024, after an extended illness at the age of 70. He was the longtime landscaper on This Old House, driving the garden design for the show's projects from the 1980s through 2020. Cook is being remembered for his practical advice to homeowners delivered in his unmistakable New England accent. Professional wrestler Sid Eudy died August 26, 2024, of cancer at the age of 63. He was a WWE star of the 1990s who wrestled under the names Sycho Sid and Sid Vicious as he took on legends like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. Eudy is being remembered for his powerful and intimidating presence in the ring. Businessman Nick Mileti died August 21, 2024 in Rocky River, Ohio. He died in his sleep at the age of 93. He brought the NBA to Cleveland as the founder and first owner of the Cavaliers. Mileti is also being remembered for his purchase of the Major League Baseball team, the Cleveland Indians, preventing a potential move out of the city. Soccer player and manager Sven-Göran Eriksson died August 26, 2024, at his home in Sweden. He died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 76. He managed the national teams of England, Mexico, the Philippines, and Ivory Coast, as well as managed winning local teams in Sweden, Italy, and beyond. Eriksson is being remembered for his emotional final message to fans after his cancer diagnosis. Football coach Joe D'Alessandris died August 25, 2024, after a long hospitalization for complications from surgery at the age of 70. He had been the offensive line coach for the Baltimore Ravens since 2017, helping the team remain in the top 10 in win rates for run and pass blocking over a 6-year stretch. D'Alessandris is also being remembered for his years coaching college football and other NFL teams like the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs. Lieutenant General Arthur J. Gregg died August 22, 2024, at a hospital in Richmond, Virginia, at the age of 96. He joined the U.S. Army in 1946 and served for 35 years, including commanding a battalion during the Vietnam War. He went on to become a legend of Army logistics and the first black lieutenant general in U.S. Army history. Gregg is being remembered as the namesake of Fort Gregg Adams, which was named in his honor last year, making him the only living person in modern history for whom a military installation was named. Baseball player Don Wert died August 25, 2024, in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, at the age of 86. He was a third baseman for the Detroit Tigers in the 1960s and 70s, known by his nickname Coyote. Wert is being remembered for helping the Tigers win the 1968 World Series, the same year he was selected as an All-Star. Vintage car guru Rob Rabbit Pitts died August 25, 2024, of stomach cancer at the age of 45. He starred in the 2023 Netflix series Tex Mex Motors, in which he found used cars in Mexico and restored them at his shop in El Paso, Texas. Pitts is also being remembered for his social media storytelling on VinWiki and on his own YouTube channel. Businessman Leonard Riggio died August 27, 2024, of Alzheimer's disease at the age of 83. He was the longtime CEO of Barnes & Noble, turning it from a single bookstore into a giant of the industry. Riggio is being remembered for helping revolutionize bookstores with shopper-friendly additions like cafes. Style icon Betty Halbreich died August 24, 2024 in New York City. She died of cancer at the age of 96. She was a personal shopper at New York's luxury department store Bergdorf Goodman for almost 50 years, influencing fashion as she dressed clients like Candice Bergen, Lauren Bacall, and Meryl Streep. Halbreich is also being remembered for helping provide clothes for such fashionable TV shows as Sex and the City and Gossip Girl. Former U.S. Representative Bob Carr died August 27, 2024 at the age of 81. He was a Michigan Democrat who spent 7 terms in the U.S. House in the 1970s through 90s. Carr is being remembered for his work on infrastructure and his mentorship of others in public service. Businessman Mike Lynch died August 19, 2024, off the coast of Sicily. He died in a boating accident at the age of 59. He was one of England's tech giants, having co-founded the search software company Autonomy. Lynch is also being remembered as the founder of the venture capital firm Invoke Capital. Six others were killed in the boating accident that took Lynch's life, including his teenaged daughter. Here are the names of those who died: Jonathan Bloomer, Judy Bloomer, Hannah Lynch, Chris Morvillo, Nada Morvillo, Ricardo Thomas. Hockey player Johnny Gaudreau died August 29, 2024 in Oldmans Township, New Jersey. He died at the age of 31 in an automobile accident while cycling. His brother, Matthew Gaudreau, was also killed. He was a star forward for the Columbus Blue Jackets, having also played for the Calgary Flames and the U.S. national team. Gaudreau, nicknamed Johnny Hockey, is being remembered as a beloved fan favorite who won the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy in 2017 in honor of his sportsmanship and excellent play. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 4 years ago this week, actor Chadwick Boseman died at the age of 43. He was known for his starring roles in such movies as Black Panther, 42, and Get On Up. 5 years ago this week, actress Valerie Harper died at the age of 80. She was a 1970s sitcom star who won 4 Emmy Awards for her work on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda. 12 years ago this week, astronaut Neil Armstrong died at the age of 82. He became an icon of American excellence when, in 1969, he was the first human to walk on the moon. 20 years ago this week, singer Laura Branigan died at the age of 52. She had top 10 hits in the 1980s with Gloria, Solitaire, and Self-Control. 34 years ago this week, musician Stevie Ray Vaughan died at the age of 35. He was a blues guitar great known for hits like Crossfire and Pride and Joy. 60 years ago this week, actress and comedian Gracie Allen died at the age of 69. She was known for her comedy act with her husband, George Burns, and for their popular 1950s sitcom, The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show. Actor Sean Connery was born 94 years ago this week. He died in October 2020 at the age of 90. He was cinema's first James Bond and won an Academy Award for his performance in The Untouchables. Actress Roxy Roker was born 95 years ago this week. She died in December 1995 at the age of 66. She was one of the stars of The Jeffersons and the mother of rocker Lenny Kravitz. Singer and pianist Dinah Washington was born 100 years ago this week. She died in December 1963 at the age of 39. Her jazz and blues hits included What a Difference a Day Made and September in the Rain. Actor and filmmaker Richard Attenborough was born 101 years ago this week. He died in August 2014, 10 years ago this week, at the age of 90. He starred in movies like The Great Escape and Jurassic Park, and he won 2 Oscars for directing Gandhi. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Virginia have been lowered to honor the memory of former state delegate Theodore Ted Virgil Morrison, Jr. Flags in Pennsylvania have been lowered to honor the memory of fire policeman and Newbury Township resident Brian Peake. Flags in Massachusetts have been lowered to honor the memory of Specialist Xavier M. Powell, Massachusetts Army National Guard, and Petty Officer 3rd Class Kyle Thomas Duffy, United States Navy. Flags in Wisconsin have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Army Air Force's Sergeant Jack Holfeld, who died in the Philippines as a prisoner of war during World War II. His remains were recently identified and returned home for burial. Flags in Wisconsin have also been lowered to honor the memory of former State Representative James Soletsky. Flags in Kansas have been lowered to honor the memory of State Representative Marvin Robinson and former Chief Judge of the Kansas Court of Appeals, Gary Rulon. Flags in New Jersey have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Congressman Bill Pascrell, Jr. Flags in California have been lowered to honor the memory of San Diego Police Department officer Austin Machetar, who died in the line of duty. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.